Hello everyone, Joshua Hayes at BigWaveTrading.com. First off, we're going to look at the version 25 telechart charts of the leading indices, then are the four majors, and then we'll go to the antiquated, archaic version since it's aesthetically pleasing to my eyes on an end-of-day basis. First off, the DIA, I see a giant cup with handle on the daily, best seen on a weekly, and I'm triple green on my indicators, and the TTM trend momentum on the weekly is higher. This is going to eventually break out. How about the IWM? The IWM, same thing. Triple green, weekly looks good, daily consolidating. I believe eventually this is going to break out. Is it possible that we roll over? Yes. Should we roll over? Yes. It's August. It's September. This is when negative market seasonality should be hitting the tape, but yet it isn't. If you look at the SPY inches away from new all-time highs on the weekly. Also, triple green with that indicator, the momentum indicator looking strong. QQQ, same thing. Triple green, strong weekly trend momentum indicator. And on a daily, we got that slingshot above the zero line going from dark blue bars to light blue bars in the momentum indicator yesterday, which then foreshadowed today's all-time high, basically in the QQQ. Now, what I want to show you is what I like to do is look at the relative strength line. And if we go and look at the QQEW, yikes, look at this white line, the relative strength line, right? Look at the RSP. Look at the DIA. Look at the IWM. Look at the QQQ. Where should our focus be? To me, it's clearly obvious. And if it isn't obvious to you by now, it's been obvious to me for a long time. In May, we reconstituted the quarterly portfolios. We're going to do it again here in about a week or two. And right now, we're doubling the SPY's return. We're up 13% versus the SPY's 7% in the quarterly portfolio because we hold names like HOOD, which was also a recent swing trade. But right now, all you got to know is it's all about the big caps. Look at Meta's sideways consolidation here. I would love to see this go for a few more days, but volume is so light. I don't think I'm going to get my entry. What my entry would be the 21 EMA catches up with price. I would love to take a large position. And right now, guys, in the swing position accounts, I'm all in on every trade. So just to let you know, anytime I get a signal, it's all in. And right now, there's not a lot of signals, but whenever I get one, all in, it doesn't matter. I think this week we only got 3 signals, 2 triggered, 1 has failed without triggering, and the 2 that triggered have worked very well, and we'll review those in a second. But besides Meta, I posted on Twitter yesterday a Google chart, and I drew a little horizontal line across this cup with handle formation. So I drew it across the handle highs, and I said good above the line, bad below the line. I was hoping it was going to consolidate for a few more days. It's breaking out already. To me, it looks like it's a wedging breakout. To me, it's not actionable, but once again, shows you where you should be focused. And you see what Apple's doing. And I assume Tesla is next. I really like what I see here on a weekly chart. Looks like it's consolidating. Horrible earnings. Barely gapped down, held, and now is getting back above the 50 and 200 SMAs. So it looks like to me, we could be seeing Tesla soon joining the leaders already in the Nasdaq 100, moving much higher. So right now, everything looks really good there. And like I said, as long as these big caps are the focus, this is where my focus is going to be. Now, this past week on Friday, I gave you guys GFI above this high of the day. 25.75, I had a limit offset, I think, of like 26. I think it was just 26 even. So it was like 25.75 was my buy stop. 26 was my limit offset. Missed it by 20 cents. Congratulations to anyone that got long this name. In 1 week, free to everyone on YouTube, 22% gain. Now, GFI, you're looking at the weekly squeeze scan. First off, I want to show you that Docs made the weekly squeeze scan today. Would I take Docs because it entered the squeeze scan? No. So here's the rule. Just like GFI, whenever a stock makes this weekly squeeze scan, if it's above the 21 EMA and 50 SMA or right on top of it on the daily time frame, it's actionable. But my focus has been the Nasdaq 100 stocks. So whenever GFI made the weekly squeeze scan on the 28th. I didn't buy it or put a buy stop above the recent highs, which would have been 24.80. I would have been filled on the 29th, and I would be long GFI for this move, and my percent gain, if I followed my own rules, would have been 26%. But like I said, I'm focused on the QQQ stocks. This week, only a few stocks made this weekly squeeze scan. PAM, Argentina related, and TGS is already in here, and then YPF made the scan. This tells me it's an Argentina related move. That's not a proper catalyst. So YPF, PAM cannot be new long signals. Plus, whenever PAM made it, it's not on the 50, downtrending 50, and whenever YPF made it, same similar situation, not on top of the 50, can't be added. Today, DOX has made the scan, so it now goes in the watch list, but once again, is it on top of the 50 and 21 EMA? No. So just like PAM, TGS, and YPF, it is not actionable from the weekly squeeze scan. So I cannot do anything with those stocks. Now, besides GFI working very well for everybody that watched the YouTube video lesson, this past week, I only received 3 actionable swing trade long signals. You want to review them? The first one was AVAV. After this day right here, I decided to put a buy stop above the recent highs. I also decided to do the same with Hood above the recent highs of 107.30. So on this day, I put a buy stop on Hood above this high. On this day, I put a buy stop on AVAV above this high. Hood, I posted on social media. AVAV, I did not. Why? Because AVAV is a leader, but Hood is the leader. How do you know? Look at the relative strength lines. So I went ahead and posted Hood to everybody on Twitter. And what has Hood done since then? Breaking out, working, up 8% in 2 days. That's exactly what we want to see. I am actually going to be taking some profits because I didn't yesterday. So I'm going to take 10% profits, and then I'm trailing stops all the way down. You may think that's crazy, but I use Interactive Brokers Trader Workstation. It's very fast for me. And I wouldn't be this tight if it wasn't August and September. So the 21 EMA and 50 SMA are usually where I do my stops. But because it's August, September, and I don't know if breakouts are really going to hold right now, I will be tight with stops. But Hood triggered and filled. AVAV never triggered because it never traded above 276.50, triggering my stop at 276.51. And after today's session, red bop, heavier volume, rollover candle. I am actually canceling the AVAV trade. So it was Hood, it was AVAV, and then I got a speculative long signal in BMNR. BMNR was a huge buy by Kathy Woods. Tried an entry here, kind of cheating the process by getting long on this day. Had to stop out right after it, but that tight stop led to this signal. I haven't had a speculative long signal in 2 weeks, so all of the capital raised in that speculative secondary swing trade position account went into BMNR on this day. Members knew about it. Members knew 33.88 buy stop, limit offset 1%, triggered and filled the next day. Yes, I did take some profits the very next day, up 15% on the position. Then the next day, kind of doing nothing. And then today, another big move. Will I be taking more profits at the market at the open on Monday? You better believe it, because a 54% gain in 4 days is not something I just ignore. Could this stock go much higher? Yeah, and I'll be long for a ride on a piece. Got a very large position in this stock. So I'll take more profits. Took 10% this day. I'll take 15 to 20%, and I'll let the rest ride. Final stop will be the 50 SMA. But those were the only actionable signals on my end this past week. So did I have any today? Nope. There's some stocks I like. I'm really watching TEM. This is an earnings winner. I need to see more of a base build out. Need to see that 50 SMA at least start to curl. MU, great start. I'm seeing a cup with handle form here on a weekly time frame. Would love for it to handle in a quiet fashion, then I'd be interested. And then RHLD, IPO base breakout, really not interested because of the volume, but I'm going to keep an eye on that. But those were the only ones. Now, from my daily squeeze scan, one stock did show up that would be of interest if it wasn't a sub $10 stock, if it didn't have earnings on Friday. SY would be of interest. How close is it to its 21 EMA? It needs to at least touch the 21 EMA, and then I would consider a long position risking to here if SY wasn't right in front of earnings. This would go in the secondary speculative count. And by the way, when that hood and AVAV signals, when I decided to put buy stops above both of them, whatever capital I had on that swing account, 50% went into AVAV, 50% went into hood. And if you guys think I'm being a little too aggressive right now, trust me, I have a lot of faith in this methodology. You just saw how GFI worked on Friday. I really trust these setups. I trust these signals. And when they fail, I always cut my losses. It's rule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at big wave trading. Always cut your losses. There are no exceptions whatsoever to that rule. So with all of that out of the way, do I have any actionable signals for everyone this weekend like GFI last Friday? Sorry, I don't. There are no new long signals. Now, yesterday, I received 2 grade A long signals, and I'll show you what they look like. ARLO made my daily squeeze scan, and it's in my perfect speculator scan, which only deals with the best of the best stocks technically. Right off the 50 SMA, pocket pivot point signal, bop in the right direction, volume in the right direction. It's actionable. Only one problem. They had earnings after hours. You see how it did today. So it's a no trade. But you can see that it opened up at 1905. Let's pretend like it didn't have earnings. It could have gone from 1643 to 1905 in an orderly fashion like this here if it didn't have earnings. But that was the first grade A setup. The second one, RKLB. Now I'm already long RKLB from here. I still have a position. Is it the full position? No. Why? Because it went up 100%, locked in profits on the way, but I still do have I basically have half of my stop here, and the final half would be below here at the break-even point, unless it fails, like TOST today was a 100% sell signal. This was the long signal here. 100% sell signal, and I round up for a 4% loss because it's closing below the 50 SMA on heavier volume or above average volume with red bot. Now SMR, which was a grade A setup from the daily squeeze scan on this day, which we went long and took profits on. This is what I'm looking for right here. I mean, this is perfect. We were all long SMR, told everybody it was a grade A setup. Boom, 37% gain. Well, it's now rolling over, closing below the 50 on heavier volume. Why is SMR not a full sell and only a 50% end of day sell signal and TOST is 100? TOST has red bot, SMR does not. SMR, good for a 5% gain. So there is that. But yesterday, ARLO, couldn't go because of earnings. RKLB, there you go, guys. To me, because of where it's at versus the 21 EMA, it's in my loose squeeze scan, wasn't in my main squeeze scan. That's a grade A long signal. It's a load the boat long signal, 100% all-in signal, all day long, simply risking to this low or possibly the 50 SMA. Had a good day today, but once again, the signal was voided because it had earnings after hours last night, just like ARLO. But I'm looking for this kind of setup, and I'm looking for this kind of setup, which is similar to this SMR setup right here, and we don't have that. And or I'm looking for something to enter the weekly squeeze scan near the 50 and 21 50 SMA 21 EMA, and we don't have that tonight. So unfortunately, I don't have any new long signals for everyone, but you know what? I'd rather give you a high quality signal that you can make money on than give you any kind of, half-ass signal. I will let you guys know I added these stocks today to my earnings winner scan. I'm looking for undercut in rallies on all of these. So moving forward, you can add these to your list if you want to. EXPE really not. We'll see how that one reacts. I want it to more look like AORT, but I'm looking for a close below the low of the day and then a reclaim of the low, and they are actionable as earnings winners long.